Hello. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing? Listen, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for yesterday. Thank you for all the comments. Really appreciate them. So many questions, so many answers. I really appreciate that. So thank you for showing up. How are you doing? How is it going on your side? Did you take some actions? Did you do some stuff from yesterday? Okay, if you did, just share in the chat box so that we can know that yes, some people took some action and some people did not. So today I have got a whole lot of stuff. I promised you yesterday. Today I'm going to talk about the system, and I'm going to give you everything I can in the little amount of time that we have here. But first, I want to ask you a simple question. Are you doing what you say you're doing? Or are you doing what you have decided you want to do going forward? Okay, because this is about action. This is about you taking the action to be able to build, to be able to do what you have to do to build your business to that level of freedom. Okay, so right now you might be asking, yesterday some guy was asking me, so coach, how long have you been doing what you've been doing? 14 years, ladies and gentlemen, 14 years, going on 15 and still going strong. I'll also tell you that when I told one of my great aunties that I was going to start a business, she said to me that, please don't you do that. You might just want to think about the fact that no one in your clan has ever started a personal business. Therefore, you might not be able to make it, and you might bring shame to the clan for starting a business and failing. Guess what? 15 years later, I'm still growing strong. And maybe you're one of those who's thinking, maybe it might not work for me. I'm here to tell you it will work for you if you have a system, if you follow the process. Okay, so today I want to get straight into what do you need to do to systemize the business? What kind of mindset do you need to have? And my positioning is that if you want to build a long-term business, if you want to actually make an impact, the way you do things is totally different. Okay, the way that people, the story is told. If you find people who are building a small hut, okay, mud house for that matter, if you find people building a small mud hut, the way they work, the way they lay, there's no foundations for that, by the way. They just come together, put some mud together and put up a house. The way they do that compared to people who are building a cathedral is totally different. The cathedral has got a deeper foundation. They do things differently. They're more diligent. They take the time to get the best quality input, the best quality products so that they can build long term. That is why anybody who ever comes close to me or into my system, I say, think about what you want to build long term. Think about how you want to show up later on. Most importantly, what will people say when you are gone? All right. So quickly, I want to get into the fundamentals. Today, I'm sharing with you the repeatable system. Okay. And this is the reason why you need a repeatable system. Plenty coaches, plenty mentors, plenty guys out there who are attempting to do what they have to do. They are up and down. One time they have clients, another time they don't. Okay. Maybe you might be one of those people where you get people calling you and showing interest, and then they all of a sudden disappear. Or you might be one of those people where, sometimes it looks like it's going to be good. You get a lot of shares and a lot of likes on your posts, but nothing comes through. It is because you don't have a repeatable system, okay? And the repeatable system is designed to get you clients on a regular basis, all right? So that is what I'm going to be sharing with you. But as usual, we're going to be going deeper because, guys, this is the opportunity right now. Coaching, consulting, the business of coaching consulting is one of the world's fastest growing businesses. Okay, almost it is in third place next to tech. Okay, anything to do with tech, and then health, and then coaching. Okay, why? Because there's so many people who are looking for your advice, so many people waiting for you to step up. That is why it gives me excitement to come and share this stuff with you. Okay, so in today, before we start, I want us to start off with the fundamentals. Why? This whole stuff is not going to work until we have dealt with the fundamentals. And what are those fundamentals? Okay. Number one, you got to get the niche sorted out. Focus on one niche at a time. That's crucial, guys. There's no two ways about it. Okay. Yesterday, I told you the story about focus. I told you about Bill Gates and his mentor, Warren Buffett. Okay. Focus. Okay. Number two, second fundamental is you must have strategic. Oh, this better work. A strategic positioning. Okay. Why? You must say, okay, what niche am I going for, and how am I going to strategically position myself as the best person to serve that niche? That's crucial. That's very crucial. Next, you must have a what is this called? A offer that is irresistible, most importantly, is strategic. Why? If you don't have a strategic offer, an offer that is irresistible, where you are telling whoever your niche is that, hey, guys, listen, this is what I have for you. When they look at it, it should be a no-brainer. It doesn't matter what niche you're in, okay? If you're a builder, you must be able to present yourself as the best builder, where whoever is looking for building contractor, it is going to be easy. If you're in the online space, what we teach you is to say, where is my blue ocean? Where can I strategically position myself with an offer that is going to make sure that when somebody reads it, it's just a no-brainer. People are just going to say, you know what? I want it. Or when do I start? That is the whole purpose of what we're going to show here to you today. And then obviously you must have a simple, straightforward sales process. It must be simple. It must be straightforward. It must be something that you can start to do. You know, I know in the long days, you know, some maybe 8, 9 years ago, somebody would take you through 10 hoops that you got to jump for you to pay them. So you got to go through one page, and then the other page gives you a testimonial, and then that testimonial takes you over to the page where you have to pay, and then that page where you have to pay takes you to another page which verifies your card, and then boom, boom, before you know it, it has taken you through 3, 4, 5, 6 stages before you pay. Now we're saying that for your repeatable system to work, make it easy for you to get paid, make it easy for you to sell, make it easy for you to deliver your product. Why? People are impatient, guys. Okay, people are impatient right now. They don't have the time. You know, the easier you make it to do business with, the better for you. So with those fundamentals in place, let us get into today's session. Okay, so I was telling you guys, input, process, output. Why? Everything has got to be a system. Those of you who have been around with me for a while, you've noticed that I always say everything is a system. Digestive system, solar system. Everything in the world is a system. Even your coaching consulting business is a system. By the way, there is a great lesson in what has just happened. If you get it, you will know what it is. If you don't, I don't know. What are the inputs for you to be able to process to get outputs? And the output is the money. The output is the conversions. The output is the clients that you're getting out. Okay. Now, the reason why this is crucial is a lot of times when anybody comes to me for coaching, consulting, the first thing I tell them is, if you don't put the system in place, you're going to struggle. Why? You won't have control. You won't have stability. You won't know if it is going to work or not. You won't know if you're growing or not, because you cannot measure unless you have a system that gives you some data to measure. So the first part in terms of input, these are what we call your CGAs, client getting activities. What do you do to get clients? Okay. The next one, the process, is your strategic calls, okay, and your surveys. Why is this important? This helps you to make sure that you're only getting in the people who are actually good for you as a client. Okay, how many times do you get some clients in who you know are never going to buy, or if they buy, they are such a problem, you wonder why you got them in the first place. By the way, did you know that, and it is something that we'll talk about later, clients who don't pay attention. But you have to get it right at the beginning. Okay, now if you have a process where you sieve them via a survey before you get them on a strategic call, it makes it much easier for you to know, okay, this one I can help, this one I cannot help. And then of course the output is the number of clients, okay, and obviously how much money you're making. So what are we saying? The input, client getting activities. What are you doing out there to get clients, so that you can take them via a survey and or strategic call, which will give you the money. And the most important thing right here is give you the ability to track what you're doing. Let me explain. If I am doing some stuff in terms of my marketing, in terms of my getting authority, in terms of getting out and talking to the market, and that is leading into people wanting to do business with me by putting up their hand and saying, hey, I want to know more. And I am taking them through a survey and a strategic call. Then I am getting paid for that. What will happen is, if I know what I did to bring them in here and I am tracking it, then all I have to do is to repeat what I was doing here. For example, if last week I shot 10 videos, okay? And those 10 videos were on Instagram, for example. Now, those 10 videos then managed to give me 20 surveys, okay? And out of those 20 surveys, I got 5 clients, okay? That means that if I got 5 clients here, if I want to make 10 clients, all I have to do is double down on what I was doing here. That is why tracking is important. Does that make sense, guys? I hope it really, really, when you understand it and you get it, it completely changes the game for you. That means that you're not guessing anymore. That means that whatever you're doing it in such a way that it is going to attract more clients to you. Most importantly, you know what brought the client, therefore you do more of that. A lot of public speakers and a lot of coaches are broke because they don't have the system. Number 2, they are doing things that don't matter. Let me give you a great example. Right now, I've just shared with you, you can get online, you can do some marketing, whatever it is, get strategy calls and get money. Have you heard me mention business cards and or great logos and or any of those great brochures? None of that stuff. Why? Because actually you don't need it. Okay, so those of you who are overwhelming yourselves by doing things that don't matter, hey, I am here to say the most important thing is, are you getting out there and getting authority by doing what we call the input of client getting activities? Those are the most important ones, okay? Then, are you getting people on a strategic call? Are you using a process that helps you to turn them into clients? Are you following a system of taking a person from a stranger to a client? And most importantly, the output should be that if you're doing it well, then you're obviously getting what? You're obviously getting people to pay. Now, this only works if the client getting activities are sorted out, if they are streamlined. Remember, I talked about process. It is process. It is about having a system. It's about knowing that how does a system work. Now, I am giving you exactly what you need to do for you to do more of the client getting activities. Where do you go and do that from? And just to emphasize that point, guys, guess what? That means that you have to go to Facebook and do lives and answer people's questions. Why? 90% of all your clients are on Facebook. It doesn't matter what you do. Now, if you are into the high-end coaching, consulting, yours might be on what? On LinkedIn. Or if you're into, helping people look better, you're into nutrition or whatever, then it might be Instagram, okay? But all of them are online. So the question is, what are you doing online in terms of input client getting activities? That is positioning you as an expert. That is positioning you as somebody who can actually solve the problem, all right? So the next one is what? On LinkedIn. What are you doing to promote yourself, to answer questions, to position yourself as an expert on LinkedIn? What else? Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and then of course, this one we are beginning to really see some big time results on YouTube. Okay, why? Because if you're shooting amazing YouTube videos and you're sharing them on all these, those contribute to your client getting activities. Now, if you are doing that and you are positioning yourself and you are getting authority and you are adding value, all of these things begin to add up. That means you begin to have control and stability. That means that all of a sudden there is predictable growth because you know, hey, what I'm doing is getting me more. That is why when we do the onboarding call, I'm going to ask you, what do you do on a daily basis? Okay, I will share with you the winning daily routine. What do you do from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed? If it is not a client getting activity, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, if it is not that you're getting people on the call and or getting people to pay you, don't do it. Why? This is designed to give you growth and consistency. Most importantly, that P stands for predictability. I hope this is making sense. If it is making sense to you guys, talk to me in the chat box so that I know exactly what is going on there. But before you do that, I have three things that will help you to understand why I emphasize this whole system. Number one, when you do this system and you implement it, as I've mentioned it to you, it will give you, this P stands for positioning. This one stands, the A stands for authority. You'll have authority. And most importantly, you will have to build trust. When you build trust, people will do business with you. How do you build trust? Client getting activities. By showing up on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube and serving them and showing them that you care about them. Most importantly, you're a subject matter expert. The name Coach Phill stuck, the word coach stuck. But actually, I don't really like to call myself a coach. I'm an expert in helping you grow your business. I told you that yesterday. Why? There's so many coaches out there. There's so many people calling themselves coaches. That, you know, everybody's a coach right now, but very few people, number one, understand the system and understand what it's actually going to take. There's so many guys with amazing websites, business cards that sing, but guess what? The output is there's no money. Why? They're not implementing the system. Because the system helps to what? To position, to get authority, and most importantly, to build trust. Okay. So if this makes sense, what do you guys think about it? In the chat box, if you can give me some answers, how you're implementing, if it makes sense, and what exactly makes sense. And as we do that, I'm going to show you a small short video of somebody who implemented this in their business. And most importantly, it is working for them. Actually, this guy is so famous right now. It's amazing. Okay. Why? Because he understood that he has to put in place a system. He consistently shows up for his clients. He consistently does what he has to do. All right. So I want to share that quick video with you, and then I'll come back and we shall finish it off. I'll talk to you guys about a few things, a few pitfalls, and then we shall close the video for today. So somebody was asking a question. Supposing your clients don't do Facebook Live, guess what? They will be on LinkedIn or on YouTube. Okay. There is, you know, you can get people on email, but I can guarantee you, I was doing some homework yesterday. 99% of your clients are going to be on social media somewhere. There's a guy who is recruiting people who wants to be board members, and he actually got 2 of his senior board members off LinkedIn. So it is just finding out where do your people, and look, the medium does not necessarily matter. What matters is, are you doing what you have to do to get to them? Maybe you're sending emails. Maybe you are still a guy who sends out, you know, physical letters. Are you doing, you know, there's a process in the course where you do what we call what's the word? Mail that you cannot discard, because history shows that people will always check their mail, okay, like physical mail, next to the bin. So what is it? So they're looking at the mail which has come in, and they know that 90% of it is promotion and stuff like that. So what they do is they check good A, B, bin. Good A, B, bin. Now, what is going to make sure that your mail ends up on the A pile is by making it different, by making it the kind of email that is going to give you, it gives you authority and position on the top. Before somebody opens it, they look at it and they're like, you know what, I would like to read that. So if you are that kind of person where you think that your clients do not exist on social media, you might want to think again. But if they actually don't, because if you can get a board of, a chairman board of governors for a multi-million-dollar organization on LinkedIn, because these guys have retired, but their profiles are there, their connections are there, you can always send them an email. Actually, I'll give you one great tip. There is a service on Upwork and Fiverr. There are certain guys who are designed, their job is to look for addresses and to look for connections, okay? And you pay them maybe $50 or $100, and they will go and look for these people for you. It's amazing, okay? It's amazing what people can do, because all you got to do is know, where are my people? Where are the people that I'm targeting? Wherever they exist, somebody can find a way. But 99% of them are where? They're going to be on social media. There's no two ways about it, all right? So now, this is that time where every time you tell people, hey, you can get out and do it, then all kinds of things begin to come up. Oh, it's not going to be possible for me. My niche is different. Listen, one of the things I learned from a guy called Dan Kennedy is that every time you say that your business is different or your business is special, you are laying the foundation for failure. Rather than say, my business is different, ask a different question. How can I use the fundamentals to make my business work? If it works for a person doing knitting, and it works for a horse whisperer, and it works for a guy who trains dogs, and it works for a guy who teaches tennis, what business do you do that it can help? So rather than say, oh, it won't work for me, ask yourself, how can I use it? Okay. The other thing that people always say, oh, I can't do it on my own. Maybe I need a big team. No, you don't. You don't need a team. You just need 1 or 2 people who can support you. Most importantly, if you systemize this, you don't need a big team. What you need is 2 or 3 dedicated VA. And tomorrow I'm going to be showing you exactly how to put that in place so that you can begin to multiply what you do so that you can sleep while your business works. Okay. That is what we're going to be sharing tomorrow. But right now I want to tell you that, look, it does not matter how big you think you should be. What matters is, can you get a small team of dedicated people who can help you to execute? Okay. Right now, I don't have my team next to me, but if you went on social media, you might think I have a team and it is working like we're in the same office. We're not. Okay. Why? Because I have systemized it. Everybody knows what they have to do. Everybody has got a schedule. That is exactly what you can do when you understand the system. Most importantly, when you can put a system in place, there's a word called pivot right there. If you know what is working and what is not, if it is not working, let us say you're putting stuff on Instagram and it's not working, you pivot and you go elsewhere. Why? You're able to track it so you know what is going on. The challenge with many people, for example, if I asked you, have you been tracking your activities right now? Whatever you're doing online, in your marketing, actually, what really bothers me sometimes is when people spend money. There's a prospective client comes to me and says, you know what, coach, I spent $3,000 on adverts. And, actually right now, Facebook is not doing my adverts because I haven't paid them up. And I don't understand because I was told I could advertise. I say, okay, when you started to advertise, did you look at the output? Because you are advertising. Did you get this? No. Did you get this? Obviously not. That is why you're in trouble, because you are not tracking. But guess what? If you put in $100 and it brings 0, hey, look at what you're doing. Okay, you put in 200, you get 0, wake up. If by $3,000, seriously? Okay, so the reason that this system works is, guess what? It is easy for you to track, to know what is working and what is not working. So let me go to finish off a couple of things. Number one, for you to understand that some of the things that people talk about this industry are myths. Okay, that's why I put a big myths here. Okay, number one, that you need to be qualified. Okay, now if you are spending any more money on certification as a coach and all this stuff, I want you to think about it. Okay, and I have to put a small print here. If you're doing something that demands certification, if you're doing something that by law you're supposed to be qualified in it, then by all means you got to do it. But some, it is interesting where people go for these certifications. They go to all these big companies to study to be a coaching certified coach. And then when they come out, they then look for, oh, how do I build the business? Hello. It is because it is not the certificate that matters. What matters is, do you understand this part? Do you have the confidence and experience to be able to come up with a great offer? If that is there, then you might want to build up later on. Maybe you're a master's and you want to go to a PhD later on in terms of coaching. Yes, but start now without necessarily thinking that qualifications is what matters. Okay. Number two, there's so many people who are so afraid that you need to know the tech and the funnels and all this stuff. And I'm saying to you, what I've shared here with you has nothing to do with the funnel, for example. Okay. Guess what? Posting organically online does not need a funnel. All you need is your camera, and you get out and your information and you speak to people. That's all. The next thing you need is a Calendly, which is free. Calendly is free. Okay. The survey is free. And you got a phone. You just put your phone number. Okay. Zoom has got a free app to it. Okay. So guess what? You just do that. Next, output, getting paid. Maybe this is where it becomes, where you got to get PayPal. PayPal is all over the world. Now, I haven't spoken about a funnel, have I? Haven't spoken about, you must have all these funnels and you must have all these whistles and that. No, because these guys who own these things want to sell this stuff to you and overwhelm you. That stops you from taking action. And I'm saying to you, no, put a system that is simplified. All you need is, can I get out to my people and can they see and hear me and position myself with authority and trust? Yes. Can I get them to contact me via Calendly? Yes. Can I get them to pay me via PayPal? Yes. Bingo. Let's go to business. Okay, next. Qualified, tech staff. Most importantly, people have this this myth that you must always start too small. Okay, this is the biggest lie, biggest lie. If you have been working for 10, 15, 20 years, if you have some experience, if you know that what you know up here could save somebody's life. Let us say you're a nutritionist coach, okay, nutrition coach, and somebody comes to you and they are on 50 tablets, and the doctors told them if they don't change their lifestyle, they're going to die. And they've gone to all these places and they're taking so many tablets, and they come to you and you have a great solution for them. And that solution involves, let us say, natural medicine. Okay. Let us say that they come to you, and when they come to you, you give them a solution that is going to help them to add 10, 15, 20 years to their lives, by helping them to understand the psychology of food, by helping them to release and understand, that sugar is the biggest problem, by helping them to understand that it's not just the physical side of things, but it is what you put inside. If you help them save their lives for the next 10, 20 years, how much is that worth? And how do you start small with that? So what I'm saying is, if your product is that good and it's going to save somebody's life, why bottle yourself in with the myth of, oh, you got to start small? No, if you are comfortable and you know that you deliver an amazing product, which I always say, you always must deliver amazing stuff, and you get out there and you help people to do that, charge accordingly. Be the person who charges according to value. So starting small and say, oh, I'm going to charge $100 because, hey, people who don't pay attention. Now, if you're starting off with $100, guess what? You're only going to attract people who have $100 worth of commitment. Now, a person who pays you $2,000 and a person who pays you $100, who's going to show up? Hello. So that myth of you got to start small, get rid of that. Okay. It does not matter how big or small. You must start at that level in terms of, what can I bring to the market that is going to make a difference? Okay. So those myths, by the way, if you could just share with me some of your myths or some of the things that are stopping you from stepping up and doing what you have to do, or any objections that you have, it would be super helpful if you could give me that in the chat box so that I know I can relate to some of this stuff. Okay. So finally, I want to share with you, how do you dominate? Okay. Number one, domination comes from your zeal for life, your enthusiasm, how you show up. That guy I just showed you earlier, that guy called Cobus. Cobus has got a smile that is infectious. Most important, it's very difficult to be pissed off with him. Okay. However much he annoys you, he's got that, it's called a Duchenne smile. Okay. Those of you who understand, who want to find out, go and find out what a Duchenne smile is. D-U-C-H-E-N-E. Okay. Where somebody smiles with all their face and all, there's very few people in the world who's got it, but he's one of those guys. But most importantly, his zeal for life, the way he shows up in business, has actually been a big factor of how he has built one of the fastest growing firewalking industries, firewalking organizations in the world, not just in Africa, in the world. Why? His zeal. Number two, if you want to dominate, you must optimize. That means everything you do must be optimized. What does that mean? You have to optimize your health. You have to optimize everything that you do, your environment, your ability to get up and be disciplined. Everything that you do must be optimized. The system must be optimized. By the way, do you know that this used to be 7 steps? First, you have what? A landing page, a squeeze page, a webinar, and then a thank you page, and then what? No, now we have optimized it. You must optimize everything you do. How much does it take you from the time you wake up to the time you get to your desk to work? How many of those steps are actually not useful to getting your client? What can you do between where you are and where you need to be for you to get a client? How many steps are there and how can you optimize it? By the way, let me also let you into a secret. Anybody who's better than you right now in terms of getting clients, it's not that they're cleverer. It's not that they're more talented. No, it's actually they're more optimized. They optimize their performance. They're high performers. They have no distractions. They don't go for unnecessary meetings. They don't party. They don't drink like crazy. They optimize everything in their lives. You want to dominate, you have to take a step back and ask yourself a question. What is important in your life? And whatever comes up for you, then you decide how are you going to do what you have to do to optimize going forward. All right. So next, after optimization, then you have to be able to pay the price. Guys, nothing comes for free. And you guys know that. I just throw that in there because sometimes people are like, oh, you know what, coach, I want work-life balance and all this stuff. Hey, I am all for work-life balance, but work-life balance when you're broke is a tough place to be. Yes, as your coach, I got to tell you the truth. Why? Because I want to be real with you. But I also want to be the kind of guy who helps you to go to the next level, knowing that I'm not going to sugarcoat stuff. I'm going to tell you the way it is so that you can be able to break through some of your ceilings. So guess what? Tomorrow, I show you exactly how to make the money. Tomorrow, I show you exactly how you take this situation of from the survey to getting you the money, how to break it down, the strategy call, exactly what to do, what information you got to put out here so that people can actually get to you and they are energized, they are enthused and just want to pay you because you've done a good job down here. Okay, now as usual, there's something that is always going to be what makes the biggest difference. Who knows what it is? And yesterday I said to you, I actually I put a seed. It was a seed that I planted yesterday in the middle of the circle, and I wrote something in there. All this stuff is possible for you guys, and I'll tell you why it is possible. One, if you've been frustrated, I understand. If you're impatient, I get it. If there's uncertainty, it is normal. The only difference between the people who are going to make it and people who are not going to make it, and by the fact that you're here, I am believing in you, and I know you're going to make it. The only difference is going to be one. Choice. You got to make a choice, guys. Like I said to you yesterday, and this was a wake-up call for me, okay, from one of my coaches. He said, you know what? Stop the blame game. You're an African. You're a black man. You were born in the wrong family. You didn't have any entrepreneurs. Shut up, okay? Just get to work, because when you make a choice that you're going to make something different, you're going to do something different in your life, everything else begins to change. Now, you decide by making a choice what it's going to be for you. Okay, are you going to step up and do what you have to do, which is a choice, or are you going to continue not doing what you have to do, which is also a choice? Think about it. Okay, it's nothing to do with other people. It's a choice you make. Now, when you make the choice, it is, that is where the difference is, where you begin to have to do something different. And that is the harder part, where you're breaking away from the norm, where you're getting out of the environments that don't support you. But ultimately, you have to make a choice whether you're going to make it or you're not going to make it. My job here is to come and serve you. I hope that you guys enjoyed that. In the chat box, why don't you guys tell me what you think about this particular system, how you have deployed it, most importantly, how it would make a difference for you if you took what I shared with you today and utilize it in your business. Okay, now before I leave, I'm going to ask Malix to just come and show you one or two other people who have actually gone on to make this happen. And most importantly, to tell you that, look, the opportunity right now for you to teach what you know is amazing. The opportunity right now for you to start a business in the world right now, regardless of location, regardless of where you live, is amazing. All you have to do is make the choice and decide that, you know what, now is my time. I'm going to do what I have to do, because I know that if I step up and do what I must, then the opportunity is there for me to take. So until next time, it's always an honor. It's always a pleasure to not just come and serve you, but to be able to interact with you. And if I can help you to be able to live life on your own terms, then that means that my job is done. So until then, peace.